August 19th, the remnants of Tropical Storm Erin dumped up to an overwhelming 11 inches of rain across parts of central Oklahoma. In Kingfisher, just outside of Oklahoma City, Bernice and Leroy Crittenbrink, swept away by a mighty flash flood, are waiting helplessly as their vehicle floats downstream.
This is Jim Gardner reporting live again from Chopper 4 over the town of Kingfisher.
Local TV station KFOR is on the scene as Lieutenant Sturgill and Chief Poindexter throw the stranded couple life preservers.
That was probably my first feeling of security, to have a life preserver, because neither one of us swim.
Sturgill and Poindexter briefly leave the scene to secure a rescue cage, but almost immediately receive an urgent call.
Oh my gosh, the truck just sunk.
For Bernice and Leroy, time is quickly running out. The team must move fast. Bernice and Leroy are floating dangerously close to a nearby creek where a rescue will not be possible.
There were too many trees and too much debris sticking up. We couldn't have gotten our aircraft down on top of the water to effect the rescue, and they would have certainly perished.
With Poindexter perilously perched on the helicopter skid, Sturgill skillfully lowers the chopper so that Poindexter can reach Bernice. Bernice reluctantly lets go of the submerged truck. She clings to her rescuer and the slippery skid.
One of the hardest things for me to do is to turn loose of that toolbox and reach for Randy's hand, because that was my last piece of security, feeling that there was some control.
I remember telling Bernice, I said, trust me, hold on.
But just when her ordeal looks to be ending, things get even worse for Bernice.
That was all the strength that I had, was to hang on. Of course, being wet and everything, I slipped.
Bernice plunges into the muddy water.
Oh, she just fell in the water, okay.
Didn't have time to think about it. You just go down and you shoot back right up with that life preserver on.
She didn't move. It scared me.
Sturgill rapidly maneuvers for a second, even riskier rescue attempt.
Brian, not seeing how far down his helicopter skid was into the water on the blind side, put his skids underneath the water so that I could pull Bernice's legs over the skid. I said, whatever you do, don't let go.
Looks like he's got her setting up now, which is a whole lot better there. There we go.
Bernice is finally flown to safety, but Leroy is still waiting helplessly in the water, and time is not on his side. And Leroy's rescue will be even more challenging than the last.
Aircraft controls were up against the limits. In other words, we could not make the aircraft continue to fly upright if we had lifted him out of the water at that point at the truck.
Leroy is dragged through the water toward drier ground, but he too slips away.
I lost him. He went downstream a little ways.
Sturgill masterfully flies backwards to Leroy for a second attempt, but again, Leroy loses his grip.
I was concerned at that point in time that maybe he had given up.
The pilot spins the helicopter around for a third attempt.
I told Leroy to hold on the best he could. I said, don't let go. I can't get my arm around you.
Leroy hangs on for dear life, flying upside down over the raging floodwaters.
I had my arms wrapped around the skid like this to try to hold on longer.
Finally, Poindexter is able to lift Leroy out of the water and onto the skid.
We lowered the skids under the water, and Randy was able to pick him up and get him up on the skids of the aircraft.
I was a little worried about the telephone poles and the trees and everything else. I told Leroy, I said, don't let go. We got him right on the edge of the highway and got him off the helicopter, and I was relieved, he was on dry ground.